What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Lady Good, coming at you with a Mad Monday. How long has it been? Like, don't even tell me because it's just been a shame. So, today we have a special guest. My Uncle Mike is going to be sharing in this video. He has no idea what to expect, so we're just going to surprise him and see how it goes. So, as you know, or some of you may know, I've been doing a campaign on Instagram about being depressed, and it's 30 days, and it's just kind of sharing my personal experience, what it's like on like a day-to-day basis, and things that I've been through as far as discovering things about myself, discovering things about other people, how they feel towards me, changes and how they've acted towards me, etc. So you'll have to log on to Instagram to get all of those goodies. So, Uncle Mike, did you know I was depressed?
No,
You didn't.
no, not really.
You didn't. I've been depressed for like 3 years.
Hmm. Well, when were you going to tell me?
Well, I'm telling you now because apparently not everyone knows. Today I'm actually having a not so bad day. Yesterday was a pretty good day, but the couple of days before that were definitely like a rough day. I find, especially whenever like my pain is through the roof, like my mood is down really low. Um, and that's a correlation I think a lot of people have. So, what do you think about people who are depressed?
Um, I'm a go getter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I face things right at where they are
Mm-hmm.
instead of trying to hedge around it, go over top of it, go underneath of it, deal with the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Be part of the solution and not part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because by being part of the problem, you can make yourself regress even worse because you're not properly training yourself to go through whatever's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So my bottom line is I always face matters right there instead of going around it. You know what I mean? Some people
Mm-hmm.
don't want to deal with things and don't know how to deal with things or don't want to talk about where they at because they might feel less than
Mm-hmm.
because they say, well, I'm depressed or I've been depressed too. But I came to the point in my mind that there's no use in rationalizing, minimizing the situation because it'll never go away.
Mm-hmm.
It'll always keep coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll keep dealing with it the same way until you deal with it face to face.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you think is the proper way to handle depression or someone who's actually clinically depressed? Being depressed, it can be like mildly depressed, or you can be like clinically depressed. Like I've tried 27 or 28 different medicines. I've been in therapy for like 2 years. I go every week. Like I talk to my therapist. I actually go to therapy every week. I talk to my therapist several times a day. And I'm actually about to do shock therapy at Johns Hopkins to see if that will help. Like, that's how bad my depression is.
Mm.
So, what do you think is the best way or what's your advice, I guess I should say, for someone who's trying to beat depression, but it's just not working?
Well, I find that if you do a moral inventory of yourself, from childhood to right now, that will bring out character defects,
Mm-hmm.
number one, and that will bring out some of the reasons why you feel the way you feel
Mm-hmm.
because you think the way you think.
Mm-hmm.
And bottom line is, if you think a certain way, you're going to feel a certain way every time. So if you do the moral inventory, then that will give you some ideas of where this depression is coming from.
Mm. I know where my depression comes from. Like, if you go back and look, like, I've had a lot of loss, and I talk about this with my therapist all the time, and I have trouble overcoming that because it's been so much back to back. Like, I lost my brother, and then my house burned down, and then I lost my uncle and my aunt in the same week, my favorite uncle and aunt in the same week, and then I lost my grandfather, and then I lost my dad, and then I lost Grandma Monroe, and then I lost my mom, and then I lost Grandma Taylor, and on top of that, that was like after losing my fiance who got killed 16 days before our wedding. So if you look back at that, like it's been a lot of loss. And all of those were like back to back. That's like within the last 3 years. So it's like you don't really have a chance to overcome like the things that life is throwing at you. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
you get kind of like stuck. And my my therapist says that I'm like traumatized from having so much loss in such a period of time. But I think that is true. Like when life plus then I got sick on top of that. Like I was already sick before my mom died, but I was like working through it to help her out. So then when she died, I was even more sick. And then the stress of her dying made me even more sick. So it's like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And it's like, what are you supposed to do?
It's the main thing is acceptance. Okay, nobody's gonna live forever, and my mom was the closest thing to me. My brothers was closest thing to me, and when they died in a row, like I went to 4 funerals in 1 year, but I keep them alive with me. You know, I remember the good times we had, the bad times we had, and I still talk to your grandmother Monroe every day and your grandpa every day because I'm not willing to let them go yet.
Hmm.
So that is comfortability for me on dealing with death because you get born on a certain date, you live in a dash, and then after the dash comes your due date of death, and we must accept that because there's no way in the world we could change it. We cannot change people, place, or things, facts of life, or situations any kind of way. So we have to accept these things as being exactly what they are at the moment they are. But we do not have to stop loving the person that's no longer here physically. Mentally, my mother is with me every day. I wake up, I say, thank you, Jesus, for another day. And then I say, how you doing, Mom? I come down here, I see your grandfather and your grandmother, and I speak to them coming in the door and going out the door. But that's my way of dealing with that because I accept it for what it is. If I could physically change it, I'd be more than glad to do that. But my love for them will never go anywhere.
That's true.
So facing things on reality will make it less painful for you because when you're not in reality with in tune of things that's going to happen like that, you're just hurting yourself. Mentally, physically, it can make you sick,
Hmm.
but you have to come to grips with that. I'm not going to be here always either. But if you should go before me, or I go before you, just think of me as the times we had together. Because that's what's most important. The love you have for that person while they're here. Now, me, I know that when people that I love leave here, they said, absent from the body is
Presence
present
with the
with the Lord.
Lord.
What better place could they be? There is no sickness there. There is no pain there. And I'm not selfish enough to keep somebody here that's in pain and can't handle it because I want them to stay here for me. That's being selfish. They got back pain, they got all kind of things going on with their body that they can't handle. So it's best thing to do is when they ready to go, they take God's hand and they leave here and go to a better place. And most in my mind, I say when I leave here, I'll see you on the other side. That's just my belief. So hopefully somebody that's going to see this will understand and let them help themselves the same way you can help yourself. Just do that more inventory. Because when you focus on you, you can't focus on everything around you. It's just about you. And those things will show your character defects, the baby in you, you know.
Look at me, I'm crying. Of course I'm a big baby.
That's right. And I got tears in my eyes too. But I know where my heart is. I love you. I just want you to get it together. I want you to keep on living. And you got to do that thing one day at a time. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. And the only thing you can do is the day you in. That's the only day you can do something about it. Right here and right now. Physically do anything about your feelings, your thoughts, situations, facts of life. You're able to handle that right here and right now. But tomorrow is a new day. So stay in the here and now. Don't reach too far out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know me, I can't even take it one day at a time. I just have to take it 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time because
Whatever makes you comfortable. You still gonna
it's
have
rough out
24.
here.
You still gonna have 24 hours.
Hmm.
So sometimes it takes me. I gotta do it in seconds.
That's the truth.
You know,
Yeah.
and then get yourself back on track, and you can move and vibe and weave through some crap and some things that is not even worth you getting involved in. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I let it go by me like water off my back
Hmm.
and keep it moving.
Absolutely.
But you definitely have to stay focused.
Hmm.
And the more you focus on you, the less you focus on the bad stuff.
Hmm. That's why I be MIA. That's why I don't do a lot of the things that I used to do because I really have to get myself together. Because at the end of the day, turning up, having fun, hanging out with your friends, all that is all nice and good. But when I go to sleep, I'm going to sleep with just me. Whenever I die, I'm dying and it's just going to be me. Like, whenever anything happens, it's first just me. So I got to take care of number one before I take care of anything else. Except for when your family needs you, and then you got to put that on hold and come see about them because they don't want to be listening to you. But that's a whole nother video. So, this is part one of Uncle Mike's sound advice. This was not the way I planned the video to go, but I mean, hey, it all works out, you know. It all happens exactly the way it's supposed to. So stay tuned. We'll be back with a part two, um, where maybe I'll get to the questions that I really, really wanted to ask Uncle Mike. We'll be talking about dating and get his advice. Hopefully, it's not too violent because sometimes he be getting carried away. He don't play. He's an OG, but he's still about that life. So, thanks for tuning in, and we'll
Thank you.
catch you on part two.
Peace.
Deuces. Ugh.